Kimberly of Happy Gals Vintage. Thank you for tuning in to watch this video today. I am super excited about this video because I am going to talk about Etsy shops and how to run a successful Etsy shop. And I love selling on Etsy. I have 3 Etsy shops and I started selling in 2011. So I have a few years of experience there. And there are some helpful tips that I wish I would have known right from the beginning when I got started, when I first set up my first shop. Because I think things would have gone a little more smoothly and I would have got more sales more quickly. One of the first things is to list products often. I have found that the more often you're able to list products and renew products, the more sales you'll get. New products get precedence over ones that have been on Etsy for a long time because they want to keep their Etsy website looking fresh and new. So as you get more followers on Etsy, they get notified every time you list a new product in your shop as well. So the more often you can add new products or update your old products or renew your products, the more often you're going to get sales. And I really promise you this works. When you do list a new product, try to actually upload the product and make it go live on Etsy at a good time of day. So try not to do it it's like super late at night or super early in the morning, or you can't sleep, so you do it in the middle of the night. It's better if you can do it midday. I have noticed myself that if I get all my products ready to go, right, you can do them anytime, but they're just sitting there as a draft. But then you don't actually publish them, don't actually make them live in your Etsy shop until a good time. So I will wait, I'll get all my products ready, and then I will release them all, say, around noon, between noon and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's Eastern time here because I'm in New England. And that works really well. The next tip is to title your products effectively. The title of a product is how people are going to find your product on Etsy. And trust me, there are a lot of products on Etsy, right? You are in very heated competition. Well, heated might not be the right word. You have a lot of competition if you have an Etsy shop from fellow Etsy store owners. You really want to make sure that someone who is looking for your particular product or kind of product will find it in a search. So, for instance, I sell a lot of vintage and antique teacups on my Happy Gals Vintage Etsy shops. I would not want to simply list this with a product title of teacup or vintage teacup. Now the reason why is that when someone searches for teacup or vintage teacup, I am going to have so much competition because there's going to be a million people trying to sell a vintage teacup on Etsy. There really is. Believe me. So what you want to do is you don't want to compete with everyone who's selling a vintage teacup. You only want to be showing up in the search results for a yellow teacup with shamrocks, right? You're selling vintage items like I do in one of my shops. You want to include the maker because there are many collectors who are only looking for a specific maker, right? A specific company. So, for instance, this is an Ainsley teacup. So I would list this as a yellow Ainsley teacup and matching saucer with green shamrocks. Okay, so there I am really narrowing down the field, right? I am not competing with everyone who's selling a teacup. I'm not competing with everyone who's selling Ainsley. I am not competing with everyone that is selling yellow teacups. All of a sudden I'm narrowing it down to a very specific product. And if someone is searching for a yellow Ainsley teacup with shamrocks, they're going to find me pretty quickly, right? I'm going to come up probably in the first page or 2 of search results, and there may be only a page or 2 of search results. But that's what I attempt to do with almost all my products, is to sell to my very specific product grouping, to my customers that are looking for very specific products. When you are writing your tags for your products, so when you're setting up your products in the back end of Etsy and you put in your tags, there's little a bunch of little words. I think they let you have 13 different tags. Now those are very important too, because those are also for search engine optimization on Etsy. Those are other ways that people will find your product. St. Patrick's Day might be a tag that I would use for this product. That's specifically just talking about a teacup, but say you're selling something like a dog figurine. Now here I have 2 dog figurines that are both for sale in my Happy Gals Vintage shop. But they are going to have very different titles and very different tags from each other because they're not the same kind of dog, right? So if I just put vintage dog figurine as my title, well, that's true. They both are vintage dog figurines. But then again, I'm going to be competing with every person out there who might be trying to sell a vintage dog figurine. And what I want to do is have someone who's specifically looking for a beagle. This is a beagle, yep. Or a Dalmatian. And so I will do specific tags for this. This specifically, this guy, is a Lefton figurine, which is a very collectible company of figurines, right? They're both made in Japan, but this is Lefton and he still has his sticker. So that makes him even more collectible. So, you know, in his title I might say something like Vintage Lefton Dalmatian Figurine in Porcelain. Right? Now we're very specific about what this product is and why someone would want it, right? And who made it. Now the next tip I have is to make your shops gorgeous. Right? You want to make your shops so fantastic that people really want to look at. That's a good thing to do, is kind of go through Etsy, look at shops that are selling things that are similar to what you are selling, and just take a look at their way they set up their shop, the way they did their banner across the top of their shop that talk, you know, with their product, their brand name. You want to put in time on your photos so that people can really see what it is that they are purchasing, right? You want to have an angle of every side, right? And you want them to be well lit and to really show off your product. And I do a little bit of, you know, fancier things with lace and pearls and things for my Happy Gals Vintage shop, just to give it a certain atmosphere. Or in my Crystal Wand shop or my Elements 5 shop, I will sometimes put crystals or special papers or things like that into the images of the products. And all of that is really great. But the most important thing is simply to have product photographs that are very crisp and clear and well lit, where the person who is buying your product, they feel like they are there. Because the person who's buying your product online can't hold it in their hands, right? So they need to feel as if they almost are, right? So when you're shooting product photography for your Etsy shop, think about, now if I was here and I was holding this product, what would I do? Well, I'd look at the front and I'd look at the bottom, right? And I would look at the back, you know, and I would look inside, and all of these types of things. And you want to take a photograph for everything that you would do if you were a person in a store looking at the product. And Etsy gives you 10 product photographs that you can list with every product, and I recommend that you use all 10 photographs. My next tip for running a really good Etsy shop is to listen to your customers. And what I mean by that is, if you notice a certain product in your shop is selling, well then by all means continue to sell similar products to what are selling, you know? So I've noticed in my Etsy Happy Gals Vintage shop that certain types of vintage teacups sell even more than others. If I get a black vintage teacup, those are always out the door, right? Or the really brightly colored, uniquely colored and styled vintage teacups, those sell much faster. So whenever I can get my hands on those to put into my shop, I definitely do that. And another thing I've noticed that is always selling in my Happy Gals Vintage shop is vintage figurines. Dogs, cats, horses, birds. People love vintage porcelain animal figurines, and elephants. So why would people not, right? They're so cute and they're so much fun and they're affordable and they're just a great thing to collect, and they go up in value the longer you have them. So it makes sense that people would like them, and so I always try to keep a really good collection of vintage animals in my Happy Gals Vintage shop. In my Elements 5 shop, which is an art shop, and I also sell jewelry that is all custom made, one of a kind by myself, and some things are by my daughter Amber. I have noticed that certain things will continue to sell. For instance, in Elements 5, wolf pendants, right? So crystal pendants with a wolf totem as part of the design. And so I've sold many of those over the years because I always try to keep a few of those in my shop because I know that people really like them. In my crystal wand maker shop, my by far best-selling wands are all chakra wands, right? Chakra balancing wands with a crystal for each chakra. And this is one that I just finished actually today that isn't even listed in my shop yet, but it will be soon. And this one has a stag, a male deer totem animal, and it also has a crystal for each chakra. And these have been very popular. So listen to your customers, right? And keep on selling what your customers like. I do offer free shipping in all of my Etsy shops if you order $35 or more in merchandise. So that's a pretty good deal. And it's very important to, when you do get an order in your Etsy shop, to ship it out quickly. I try to, the same day or the next day that I get an order, I try to ship the order out. Other thing is you want to ship very safely. So I always wrap every product in a tissue paper. This is for my Happy Gals Vintage shop, okay, as an example. I wrap the item in tissue paper. I then wrap the item in bubble wrap. I then have it in a box that has enough of a cushion all the way around it. Almost all the products I sell in Happy Gals Vintage are pretty fragile. They're porcelain, they're china, they're glass. And so I will wrap the whole product, and then I will have a cushion of usually crushed newspaper or something like that in the bottom of a box that is going to give a cushion of air, of space all around the product. The product is in there. I again put tissue or newspaper or some kind of soft packing material around the product. I then tape the product into the box so it's actually suspended in there almost, so it can't move around in there. Even if the box gets jostled, the product's not going to get pushed to one side of the box, right? It's going to be hanging in the middle of the box. So even if the box gets dropped, boink, the product's not going to slam to the bottom and get crushed, right? It's still going to be hanging there in the middle of all that packing. And this system works really great when I sell my wands. Again, I want them very well protected. They're pretty sturdy, but they are clay, right? And so, again, I don't want them really to be, bashing around in there or getting dropped as they're being shipped. I take that little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra effort, a little bit of extra packing, even if it ends up costing a little bit more for me to ship it, it's worth it to make my customers happy. And if a product does arrive to a customer, and there is a tiny little chip or something happened in transit, the best policy is to, as soon as you hear from that customer, refund their money on the product. No questions asked, just do it. Because that's professional. That shows that you really care. Along these same lines, another very helpful tip to have a successful Etsy shop is you want to get lots of really good customer reviews. Now, customer reviews are your most important advertising, really, I believe, because as soon as someone comes to your shop and they're considering buying from you, one of the first things they're going to do is scroll down and look at your customer reviews. And I have hundreds of 5-star customer reviews with customers that are very happy about the products they get in all of my shops. And I hope that when you go to my shops, you'll check them out, because I am so proud of these reviews. They make me feel so good, because I know that my customers are happy, right? And the products that I sell, I love all the products that I sell, and I'm super excited about them. And so when I can share these things with customers and they are happy and excited and thankful, and they write me a great review, there's just nothing better, right? And it definitely will help you get more sales in your shop. So along with that also comes being responsive. If your customer has a question when they are about to place an order, or they just placed an order and they write you an email with a question, or I have a lot of people that will ask me specific questions about collectible things in my Happy Gals Vintage shop, or if someone writes you because they want to know when the product's going to arrive, all of these things, the faster you can respond in a kind and professional way, the more sales you're going to get. If you don't respond and you give it a day or two, chances are that customer is just going to go to another shop and buy from that other shop. And also with being responsive to customers goes promotion of your shop, social media, kind of having fun with your customer base, building your brand name, getting your name out there so that people know who you are. That's kind of what my YouTube channel is all about. Like, it's fun, and I love making videos, and I love talking about all the things that are important to me. But it's also a great way to get people interested in my shops, to know about my shops, that they even exist, right? So, have fun with social media. Decide, I don't think you have to do all of them, although I practically do at this point, but it's hard to do all of them well, I've been doing Facebook for a very long time, so I have, I think, about 8,000 followers on Facebook right now, which isn't a huge number, but they're all really good followers that really engage with my posts. And we have a lot of fun. And I'm starting to build my YouTube channel here and getting more views here, and I love making videos. I think it's great. So that kind of promotion, just getting yourself out there on the internet in different places and having fun with it. If it's not fun, don't do it. Why bother? Life's short. I do Etsy shops because they're fun, and I do videos because it's fun. So have fun with it, and then your customers will have fun with it, and you'll get more sales. You definitely want to keep your shop full and looking well cared for, like you've been in there. If your shop looks like you just set it up and didn't ever look at it again, people are going to be able to tell when they go in to look at your shop. If you sell a bunch of things and then you kind of are like, well, I've had my sales for the month, and then you don't restock, you don't fill in, and you just have a few things in your shop, it just doesn't look that professional. It doesn't look like you're serious about what you're doing. So a good thing to do is just to make sure that your shop at least has a full page. I believe right now that's 24 products. If you can keep a full page all the time, that's going to look the best. The more pages you have, the better, I believe. The bigger you can make your Etsy shop, you go for it. If it's all quality products, obviously you don't want to fill your shop with junk, but if it's all quality products, really well presented, just keep adding. The more you add, the more sales you're going to get, and it doesn't cost all that much to list a product on Etsy, so I think it's worth it. Now, my very last tip for how to run a successful Etsy shop is to just don't give up. And I say this because when you first open an Etsy shop, it can be very difficult at times to just get your first sales. It can take a long time. I know for my first Etsy shop, when I opened it, I can be honest and tell you I didn't really know what I was doing, and so I didn't use these pointers that I'm giving to you, this advice. I wasn't using most of this. I just didn't know. And I kind of set up my shop, put the art in there, the paintings in there, and then just kind of sat there and waited for something to happen, and nothing did, really. I didn't get any sales. I hardly got any views even. No one even knew I was there. And, if I look back now, because I didn't do the extra work of promoting the shop of making sure that my products looked really good, of having the right tags, the right titles, you know. There's no reason why anyone would find me on, you know, but at the time I didn't really understand all that, and I was waiting, and my uncle, who had looked at the shop when I first opened it and was very, you know, encouraging to me and telling me how great it was and how great my art was and everything. Well, a few months down the road, he looked at it again, and then he contacted me, I think through email, and said, "Haven't you had a sale yet?" And I said, "Well, no." I was kind of embarrassed. And he said, "Well, that's ridiculous. You know, you should have had a sale by now. You're such an incredible artist." And that was very sweet of him. And the thing is, it doesn't matter how incredible of an artist you are, or a vintage dealer, you know, a vintage collector you are. It doesn't matter if you don't do the work in a certain way, right? If you don't follow the rules that get your shop found by customers. And anyway, my uncle, you know, wrote me this, and then about a day later, I looked and I had gotten a sale. I had gotten my first sale, and I was so excited. And then I looked at the sale, and it was my uncle. He had bought one of my drawings, and I thought that was so sweet, and I was so grateful. And and I don't think he even wrote a review for me or anything like that, but he did buy the drawing, and I sent it to him. And but after that, all my sales started to come in. Not super fast or a ton of them, but sales started to roll on a regular basis after that. It was like he had broken the ice for me in the shop and been my first sale. I think sometimes customers are reluctant to buy from a shop that's never had any sales and has no customer reviews. So your first sales and your first customer reviews are a big deal, you know, they're very important. So it may take you having friends or family do your very first sales to break the ice in your shop so that other customers feel comfortable coming in to buy things from you. And that's fine. Whatever gets the ball rolling is fine. So those are my tips for how to run a successful Etsy shop. And if you have some ideas, you know, if you've been running an Etsy shop for a while, or maybe you haven't, maybe you're just getting going, but you know of some things that I didn't mention in this video, I hope you will comment below and just let everybody know. And I definitely would love to read all about anybody else's ideas for how to run a successful shop, because I always want to learn more. I'm always wanting to improve. My channel here on YouTube is hopefully a way to sort of promote my Etsy shops and promote my different ideas and things, you know, kind of share things that I really love and that are important to me in my life with sort of like-minded people out there in the world. So, you know, if you have other ideas of ways to do that, or if this video or my videos really resonate with you, I hope you will comment and let me know what's going on. And if you want to put a link to your shop in the comments below this video, I'd love to look at your shop, and I'm sure other people would too. So if you enjoyed watching this video, I hope you will please click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more videos. And also there's a little bell notification, so if you want to click on that, then YouTube actually lets you know whenever I upload a new video to this channel. Thank you again for watching, and I'm sure your Etsy shop is incredible, and it's only going to get better and better. And please do check out my Etsy shops and let me know what you think. And I hope you have a fantastic day.